So let me start with this question that in a world where we can basically do anything with AI, write poetry, generate code, even simulate human conversation, what does it really take to build something impactful with AI? In 2020, less than 1% of the startups were AI native. In the last 5 years, that number has increased significantly. But the core problem remains same. Most of the companies and startups included, they're struggling to go from prototype to product and from model to market. My name is Mosleh Uddin. I'm the founder of Gigalogy. And in the last few years, I have been on a journey to build not only AI models, but also build a business around it. And today, I would like to talk a little bit about that. Before that, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm originally from Bangladesh. I moved to Japan after graduating high school, studied computer science in Osaka University, later studied nuclear engineering in the University of Tokyo, and started my career as a software engineer. Worked as a product manager in both Japanese and international companies. Also worked at a startup, and 5 years ago, we started this company called Gigalogy. Gigalogy is headquartered in Tokyo, but we also have offices in Bangladesh, UAE, and Silicon Valley. Before I get into the main topic today, I would like to talk a little bit about the AI evolution timeline because I'm a big fan of history, and I believe that history teaches us where we are going next. So in 1950s and 60s, the foundation of AI began. In the early 70s, we were more focused on rule-based systems. And in 80s, we have seen some early research on deep learning. But then we moved back to more statistical and machine learning approaches because those things work. And still, some of these are working really well. But thanks to internet, we suddenly got access to huge amount of information. And there was this saying when I was young that more data equals to better models. So we have seen data-driven AI and some early research on natural language processing. And thanks to Geoffrey Hinton, when he introduced deep belief networks in 2006, once again, we have seen a renewed spark in deep learning. And that took us to the next decade where we have seen the deep learning revolution. We have seen AlexNet winning the ImageNet competition, which basically changed how we look at computer vision. We also have seen significant improvement in machine translation. And most importantly, attention mechanism was introduced, and that took us to the transformer architecture that we are all talking about now, the backbone of GPT. And now comes the generative AI era. When OpenAI launched ChatGPT in 2022, for the first time, conversational AI became mainstream. And the following year, many companies, all these big tech guys and many open source projects, our focus was on building foundational models and fine-tuned applications with it. So all this time, we are more focused on things from a research point of view. So what happened is, where are we going next? And that's where Gigalogy also comes in. Last couple of years, we have seen that there is a rise of domain-specific and efficient models. Now our focus is more on how we can use this technology to actually solve real-world problems. So certainly, the focus shifted to real-world utility, safety, and business integration. All right, so we can basically do anything, right? We can create images, videos, contents. So the possibility in different industries, such as education, healthcare, finance, is endless. But with this promise and the reality is very different. When we started building AI applications for our client, we immediately faced 5 key challenges. The first one, performance versus utility. Most of these models perform really well on benchmarks. Most of you know that. But when we try to actually solve real-world problems, most of the time they fail. Next comes data quality and hallucination. Most of the enterprises that we worked with, they have huge amount of unstructured data, and for years, 30, 40 years. But the problem is those are, you can basically call them garbage. So if you put in garbage, garbage will come out. And even if you put in good data, the hallucination remain an issue still as of now when it comes to enterprise users. The third problem that we faced is infrastructure and scalability. If you are Google or OpenAI, maybe that's fine, but learning large models is expensive. And most importantly, in a production-grade environment, serving them is even more difficult. The fourth one, this is my favorite. Every customer we worked with, they ask this question, so why did the AI say that? If we cannot trust it, if we cannot explain it, then how are we going to supposed to use it at our day-to-day work? And finally, maybe AI is great in isolation for entertainment or personal use, but when it comes to business world applications, it needs to be connected with the existing tools and processes. Otherwise, it doesn't add much value. That's why we developed Myra, our flagship AI model. And we didn't set out to build the largest model, but we certainly set out to build the model that actually solves real-world problems. The core principles of Myra are, there are 3 principles. The first one is domain adaptability. You can design it for specific industries and tasks. The second one, you can optimize it performance-wise without breaking your wallet, which is very important for enterprises. And the last one is built-in guardrails. Safety, reliability, and explainability is not an afterthought. It's already built in to the architecture of Myra. So what makes Myra so different compared to other models out there? Once again, there are 3 pillars. I love the number 3. Myra dynamically interprets user intent and context. Then it also decides the complexity of the task and how much resources it should allocate into it instead of just blind numbers. And then it picks up the most suitable large language models that can solve that particular task. We combined LLMs with reinforcement learning, so as our user starts using it, it gets better in decision making. So far, we have seen that Myra showed a much superior accuracy when it comes to time series and data analysis related tasks, which is the #1 use case for our business customers. It can be integrated with customers' proprietary data very easily, and it's ideal for building vertically specific applications. So what did we learn by doing all this? My favorite one is that the best AI just works, it's invisible. And building a model is just half of the story. If we cannot solve real-world problems, if we cannot actually connect it with the existing processes, it doesn't add much value. These are the 2 learnings. And thanks to AI, we no longer need a 50-person team to build a product, 3 months to come up with an MVP or a new feature. And most importantly, it can be your co-founder as well. You can brainstorm with it, you can code, you can find out how to build a proposal for a certain customer, pretty much everything, and it never sleeps. So in our journey from model to market, we just didn't build a model. We built a platform that is synergized with that model. We focused on few key verticals where we believed we could deliver value. We built some easily integrable APIs for easy integration and a no-code UI where even if you are not an engineer, you have a problem you want to solve, you can solve it. we launched and we immediately talked with our customer as quickly as possible, get as much feedback as possible, and basically we are learning every single day. Today, Myra powers over 100,000 AI interactions every day across 10 different industries. And here is a glimpse of the industries that we have served so far. So before I finish, I just want to say a couple more things. Is that I believe that we are in a very unique moment in the history. It is not just a technological shift. It is a creative, economic, and a societal one. And innovation is not what AI can do, what we choose to do it. And I truly believe it that the future doesn't belong to the guys who have the biggest models. It belongs to the guys who have the boldest ideas and the mindset to execute them to solve real-world problems. Thank you.